Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Tonight we're checking out a 2021 Toyota GR Supra at night. So this video focuses on the interior and exterior lighting of the vehicle. Check my channel for a full overview video and a test drive video. So first, when you unlock the doors, you push the key, unlock it, it has approach lights. So you have the daytime running lights that turn on here in the front. You also have this light on the handle that illuminates the handle, but it also illuminates the ground next to the vehicle. So that way, as you approach the vehicle, you kind of see what you're stepping in, like say a puddle or something. They don't stay on very long. You can adjust the length of time in which they stay on, but it's not the maximum amount of time. Is still not that long. But you can see there's some lights around the back as well. The tag lights also illuminate the ground, tail lights and everything. When you turn off all the exterior lights using the controls, you still have this very bright daytime running light LED strip here in the front that you just can't turn off. And it is super bright. You can almost mistake these as headlights, almost. They do look really sharp. So you can see they're brighter there on the edges than in the middle. And these will dim as you turn your headlights on. When I turn on the parking lights, it basically looks the same up here, except for this amber side marker turns on. It's here on the side. And now the tail lights are on. There's a side marker in red, and the tail lights are red as well. All LED exterior lights, by the way, including the tag light there. The camera makes it kind of look like an amber, but it's all red. Now I have the low beams on, and you can see that the low beams are a multi-projector. So it has 3 focused projector beams here. And they do a fantastic job of illuminating different parts of the road in a way that does not blind other drivers, but it does give you great visibility. Nice bright LED lights. And I'll show you what it looks like going down the road. This is what they look like here in the parking lot. We put the high beams on, so you can see the difference there. Now the high beams just add light, so they're not changing the existing low beam light. So now we have the high beams on, and you can see that the focus beams there at the top, the projectors, are still illuminated, but now we have these 3 reflectors there at the bottom that are illuminated. So these are more of a floodlight, scattered out, higher position as far as the angle in which they project light, and not so focused as the low beams. And you may notice that the daytime running light has dimmed a little bit as well. The turn signal indicators here in the front are amber in color, and they're very bright. They basically replace that white LED strip for your daytime running light. So it's that same white light, it just turns amber and quite a bit brighter as well. There is a turn signal indicator here on the side mirror. It's amber as well. You can see it from the front, the side, and the back. And there's your turn signal here in the back is actually red. So it just flashes that existing light, just makes it brighter. Let's look at the cargo area. So I was kind of surprised that the cargo area has two nice bright LED lights, one on each side. So you have one under there and one under here. And I have a bunch of stuff in here, and you see how nice and bright it is. So having both lights makes it to where there is not it's not casting a shadow. So if this light here was not there, then it would cast this big shadow and a dark spot on the left side. Same thing on the right. See? So since it's able to fill in if you have stuff in here on both sides, really good. I think this is adequate for sure as far as a cargo light. Now it would be nice, it would be a great situation if there was a light under here as like an over-the-shoulder type light to kind of illuminate the area a little bit more, like on top, since these side pieces are kind of low and then right up here is dark, so the side lights are low, but it is a good, I think it's adequate, and just kind of surprising because there is some lacking interior lights in this vehicle, and I'll show you that in a second. So we saw this light here around the handle, and it illuminates on the outside like an approach light. It actually illuminates a little bit on the ground, but when you open up the door, if you're getting out per se, like say, there's no puddle light on the inside of the door. So when you're getting out, the illumination is on the outside of the door, not the inside, so you don't know what you're stepping in if it's really dark. So there's no puddle light on the inside of the door. Now it does have backlit buttons. Basically all the buttons here, for the most part, are backlit, and they're an orange color backlit button. So all the interior buttons and stuff are backlit in an orange color. There's no floorboard illumination. The only illumination we have here as far as the interior lights is here in the center, and it kind of illuminates that center portion. Okay, so I have the door open so you can see what the interior lights look like here. And that's what they look like as far as the lights. Let's go ahead and shut the door. Interior lights kind of fade out. And we do have some parking lot lights here so you can see that. But I think you can get the idea as far as your backlit buttons here on the steering wheel. And here as well. Backlit buttons. The floorboard is not illuminated, so there's the gauges, the screen. The screen is actually has a better functionality at nighttime because it's dim already. During the day it's so dim it's hardly like useful at all. But at nighttime you can barely see it, of course, but it's like this, say the clock is really hard to see during the day. Basically the screen is not really that great during the day. But at night you can see all these backlit buttons. Now there's a little pocket right in here that is completely dark. So, I mean, that's a place, an intentional place to put something, and it's just completely dark in there. There's also a USB port there that's not illuminated. And you see this this color, this orange color, it's actually coming from up here. So you can see that these two ambient lighting here and here, and there's some backlit buttons there. It's good that they backlit the buttons to turn on the interior lights. That's at least nice. So that kind of illuminates this area here, and the cameras make it a little bit brighter than what it is, but you can see pretty decent here. But of course there's nothing in this pocket where there's cast a big shadow there. There's nothing in the floorboard, and glove compartment is completely dark. There's no light in there. The cup holders here in this area are completely dark. There's no illumination in them at all. The visors do have these little lights, but they only turn on when you open up the mirror. They're nice and bright LEDs. So actually these lights were better than the interior lights. So you turn those on, you can actually see in here pretty good. So that's nice. That's something to think about, because when you turn on the interior lights here, it's just kind of not that bright, and also it just kind of focuses more on the middle. Now, of course, the visor lights might blind you, and these intentionally do not do that. So something to think about. So as far as like improvements, I think if it had puddle lights, floorboard illumination, definitely something in the glove compartment as far as a light. Cup holder illumination would have been good. Definitely something in here in this little pocket right here to illuminate that area. If you're gonna have a dedicated place to put stuff, there's not very many places to put stuff. So there's a pocket back here, and that's not illuminated. The cup holders are not illuminated. So this little pocket here is a little storage space. There's storage spaces in the side door pockets in the bottom, and then the little pocket here, and then there's the glove compartment, and then there's the trunk, and that's it. So all those areas besides the trunk are dark, completely dark. So if you're gonna have a place to put something, it'd be nice to have a little light so you can see what you're putting there and recovering whatever you're putting there. So I would say this vehicle is very inadequate as far as interior lighting here in the front. The trunk's good, the headlights are good, the exterior lights are great actually, but the inside is very surprising how lacking it is. The camera system works a little bit better at nighttime, just because you can see the screen a little bit better, but it's not really that great as far as the camera visibility and clarity, resolution, all that stuff. It's not really all that great anyway, but you can see a little bit better at night. The parking sensors are really good, so it actually can sense things around the vehicle and let you know with a visual indicator, but also an audible tone if you get too close. Here's what the headlight pattern looks like on a fence. So you can see there that line, and then there's the high beams and there's the low beams. So you can see that line that cut off right in here. It's a little bit lower on the left side. So when we're going down the road, it actually keeps from blinding people so much. And it gives you a little bit of an elevated viewpoint light on the right side. So where you're driving, it's a little bit higher, and where the oncoming traffic is, it's a little bit lower. So you can see here on the left side a little bit. This helps out with, you know, especially when you're going up and down hills like this. You can see that pattern has a little bit of a dished out area for those oncoming traffic. And since these are very bright headlights, then you don't want to blind people, basically. So let's go ahead and put it on high beam so you can see the pattern there on the road. It has automatic high beams, and they do work fairly well. They do a fairly decent job of dimming when it's appropriate and having high beams when it's appropriate. No vehicle is perfect, of course, as far as the automatic high beams. I hadn't found one that was always perfect, of course, but this one does a pretty decent job.